covering Gainesville, Ocala, and the University of Florida. This is WUFT News, first at 5.
Good evening, I'm Ricardo Navarro.
And I'm Chrystie Martinez. The fight over President Obama's health care law is headed for the U.S. Supreme Court. NBC's Brian Moore has the details. After last night's Gainesville Commission meeting, relaxed blue laws are in the works. For decades, Gainesville has had tighter restrictions on alcohol sales on Sundays. A new ordinance will be drafted to treat Sundays like every other day. This is Norman, and his story is that his previous owner used to kick him on his lower jaw, eventually causing him to get gangrene. So when he came here, they had to remove his lower jaw and file down his teeth. But as you can see, he is completely at home and safe right here. According to World Bank, 2.7 billion people around the world make less than $2 a day. Gainesville businesses have responded to the statistic by choosing to only sell fair trade products, particularly coffee. But paying farmers what they really deserve means spending more money in this economy. The world's population will hit 7 billion people any day now. And based on projections, experts say Halloween 2011 is pretty much the day. I am standing behind the current location of Peaceful Paths, and what the $1 million donation has allowed them to do is purchase the land right across the street from them, which totals to a good 16 acres for expansion. Count on the PBS NewsHour for a reaction to the Supreme Court agreeing to resolve the different appeals court rulings for and against the new health care law. At 11:30 last night, Gainesville police set a perimeter around the 900 block of Northwest 15th Avenue. They were on the lookout for a suspicious man. They didn't know he was hiding inside a home. After hearing a loud noise, the victim walked out of this door and proceeded to walk down this hallway, so that by the time that he got to the end of the hallway, he came face to face with the suspect and his gun.
I basically turned a corner and was face to face with a man with a gun, and I didn't have a gun, so I was completely outmatched, and I froze like a lot of people would, and that's when it began. The gunman led the UF student back inside, said he was hiding from police and his car had just been towed. Early this morning, he agreed to move on.
The victim did agree to help out the suspect by driving him to the nearest tow yard, which is located off of Northwest 74th Place, in an effort to locate his vehicle.
When the gunman got out, the UF student hustled off to report the incident to police.
And how do you bring home to an American audience the devastation the AIDS epidemic has caused in some parts of Africa? World Vision is trying to spread understanding and compassion by taking an exhibit town to town and challenging all of us to step into Africa. While they were here in Gainesville, I took the tour myself and found that it offered much more than just the facts.
An unusual Sunday morning sermon ended with a journey halfway across the world. Congregation got a taste of African culture through the beat of the drums on stage and even from some dance moves. They also got a taste of what it's like to live there as a child suffering from AIDS.
A child that I love literally had his breath taken away by this disease. And I wondered how the rest of our country was going to know about what I had just learned. And I strongly believe that this exhibit is the answer to that question.
Megan Caldell is the event planner for the Step into Africa exhibit hosted by World Vision. The organization's goal is to get people to see what it's like to live as a child in Africa during the AIDS pandemic. Inside the huts are the lives of 4 children living in sub-Saharan Africa. By passing through the curtains, we get to see their kitchens, their beds, glimpses of their past and present. And by pushing the health center door, we take a frightening step towards their future.
I will stamp their hand either with a red stamp or a black stamp, which indicates they either are positive with a red or negative with a black. And they sit and listen to the recording while they're waiting and contemplating what this individual has just gone through.
Megan's goal is to get about 3,000 people to walk through the exhibit. She hopes entering these kids' lives will change people by giving them a new perspective. And her hopes are already starting to kick into action.
Had an experience going to Africa, and obviously had seen things on television and stuff, but this was more personal.
It feels like you're actually there. It feels like you're the actual person. It makes you feel like it.
Like,
I couldn't imagine experiencing that.
But it's just sad.
Though the theme of the exhibit wasn't necessarily an easy one to take in, it was one with a message of love. Rather than ending in a sanctuary filled with pictures of people who have died from AIDS, the exhibit finishes off with a wall of hope.
After the exhibit, people have the opportunity to sponsor a child for $35 a month. If not, they can grab a paper and pen and write a prayer for the kids, posting it on this wall. So by the end of the week, this whole wall is covered with people's thoughts and hopes for the kids. According to the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, 5.7 million children face bullying. But here at Fort Clark, bullying percentages are decreasing.
I went to the beach, and I was there, and then one of the kids called me bucktooth, and I'm like, even when I get away to total strangers, and they still call me like names or whatever, why would somebody I don't even know be able to say something like that?
Nicole is a student at Fort Clark Middle, and though she is one of the 5.7 million children in the country who face bullying, she attends a school that has chosen to implement the Ulvaeus Bullying Prevention Program. This worldwide grant program partners with schools to take steps against the issue, the first step being the most important, getting the students to talk about it.
We started out with a survey, and we identified the areas where most of the bullying were occurring. We'll call them the hot spots. And I was just shocked because I would have said most of it happens on the PE field or, in the locker room or some closed area. Most of the bullying takes place right in the classroom, right in front of the teacher.
Since that first survey, teachers at Fort Clark are required to undergo bullying prevention training. Classrooms have inspirational quotes. Hallways and locker rooms have mirrors to prevent blind spots, and lunchtime offers bullying counseling sessions. Since prevention became a part of the curriculum, Fort Clark has seen a 14% decrease in bullying.
According to an Ulvaeus national study, 17%, that's almost 1 out of 5 students struggle with bullying. And though these students have reported in surveys that the bullying hotspots are classrooms and locker rooms, many people forget that the bullying issue goes outside of school walls. But that doesn't mean the bullies can escape the consequences.
Neighborhood bus stops are considered school grounds under the Alachua County School Board bylaws and policies, meaning consequences go beyond school walls.
You can be suspended for if you're bullying, but also my side of it is that it could be a criminal violation to where they could be charged with either stalking because the bullying falls under the stalking Florida state statute.
Fort Clark makes students aware of these consequences, but their goal isn't to scare them, it's to build a camaraderie against the issue.
You really can't know exactly what goes on or how to fix something or anything unless you've lived through it yourself. And so I feel like since I've been in that kind of situation, that I should try to spread that to all the people that I can.
Schools like Fort Clark that implement these types of programs don't only invest in a safer environment within these walls, they instill a desire within their students to create a safer environment within the world. I'm Chrystie Martinez, WUFT News.